Hi, I'm Liv Tyler, and these are my 5 favorite things for the Rake magazine. My favorite book is a book called Ask the Dust, and I actually have it with me. And it's so worn out because my best friend gave it to me, Victoria, when I think I was about 19, and it just knocked my socks off and blew me away. And so I take it with me everywhere I go as inspiration. I have dyslexia, and I struggle to finish things, so I have lots of books that I read little bits of, and this one is great because you can kind of open it up to any page. But it's a writer named John Fonte who is, I don't even know how to articulate. The writing is so beautiful and so simple, and it's about a writer named Arturo Bandini, who I think is probably really John Fonte, but and he comes to Los Angeles in the 1920s, I believe, and he's a poor writer who so desperately wants to make it as a writer, and it's sort of his journey and his experience in an area called Bunker Hill in Los Angeles. But I've opened it the other day and I got to this little part and it's so pretty. And it's about Los Angeles, and there's a lot of things happening in Los Angeles right now. So it's Los Angeles, give me some of you. Los Angeles, come to me in the way I came to you. My feet over your streets, you pretty town. I loved you so much. You sad flower in the sand, you pretty town. His writing's just really beautiful, and the way he writes, it's just really inspiring, and I take it with me everywhere. So my favorite film, this is so hard. I'm a child of the 80s, so oh, things like The Color Purple and Goonies, if I'm really honest, or even Gremlins or something like that, were probably really my favorite, the things I watch over and over again. But recently I was with my son Milo, and he had just come home from college for the first time, and there's a old theater in Santa Barbara, and it was playing a film called Perfect Days. I was so taken by the film that I didn't want it to end when it was over, and the main character hardly speaks in the film at all. He says very few words. And I thought, wow, if there's anyone's world I would ever want to live in, and it would be Wim Wenders' world, just his music, the way he sees the world, the way he articulates everything. And so his films have really touched me. Paris, Texas is another one. And so I wanted to pick him as a filmmaker because throughout my life, he's really moved me and touched me. But now, still to this day, I would say in the past year, that was the film that made me laugh and moved me the most. And it stays with me forever and kind of just keeps living on with me. So even though there's a lot of really beautiful cities in the world, New York City for me, there's just no city like New York. It's the place of my birth. Um, and all 3 of my children were also born in New York City. And I've recently moved from New York, and I haven't lived in New York in a few years. And I went back home this summer for a minute, and it was so interesting because it's the city I just instantly know who I am, and there's something about walking there and walking in the streets, and you were all in this very tight space. It's like an organism, you're walking through block after block and so many different cultures and different cities within the city. But I noticed that when I'm there, I get all of my best ideas because there's so much happening at the same time. You're in survival mode, trying to cross the street and not get hit by a cab. Seeing so many different people and different faces and sounds and hearing little snippets of people's conversations. I find it so inspiring, and I notice that it's the place that I feel the most like I know who I am there. Like I know how to walk those streets and I know how to find my way. I think anyone that knows me really well would say that my favorite food is sauce because anything that I'm eating, it's always like what's happening on it. I take olive oil and salt with me everywhere and put it on everything, but just like I'm always kind of interested in the sauce on things. And I love pasta. But if I really had to choose, like if it was my last meal, I would probably choose a glass of red wine and a bag of Doritos, if you can believe it. And I like to take a sip of the wine and like let the Dorito kind of melt in my mouth a little bit. There's so many things that I treasure that are dear to me. But the thing I wanted to say is my trees and my on my property, which I know don't really belong to me because they belong to Mother Nature. But I have olive trees, which I've been using to pick the olives and make my own olive oil. And I have tangerine trees that I've been using to pick and make marmalade. And it has been such an incredible experience to love the tree and watch the tree through its cycles and have it bear these amazing fruits, and getting to share in that experience with them. And I'm really enjoying that they are mine and on my property, and I get to share them with the people that I love.